You're just in time for Ripley's Believe It or Not. And Kelly Packard kicks off tonight's first unbelievable story.
That's right, Dean. You are going to love tonight's Ripley's Challenge. I am with three beautiful women in one of the most beautiful cities I have ever been to. And you're not going to believe what these girls are going to do. Behind me is the world-famous Golden Gate Bridge, and that's because I am on a yacht in the San Francisco Bay. And these women are members of the Playboy Extreme team, and they are going to walk across water. Literally. And not just any water, one of the most dangerous waterways in the world. So don't go away, because when we get back, these women are going to reveal the secrets behind this unbelievable feat.
Tonight on Ripley's. High-flying Mike Brown waited 30 long years to try this record-breaking jump, but it wasn't the record he broke.
Oh my God, everybody stay calm.
Escaping decapitation by inches. You won't believe what doctors did to rebuild this biker.
They had to take his intestines out of his body, and they were outside of his body for a week.
When this sweet old man died, nobody ever imagined his grandson would store his body here, in a backyard shack, frozen.
We're taking care of someone who may be dead, but may not be dead for long.
Wait till you hear how he plans to bring Grandpa back to life. This guy's a real head-turner. That's because he's got the unique ability to twist his head like a corkscrew. A full 180 degrees. Ripley's reveals the world's only living rubbernecker. Plus, can this homemade coaster complete a revolution without ejecting the rider? We pay a house call on the Beagle with biceps in tonight's Unbelievable Animals. And only Ripley's is there as these Playboy playmates attempt to walk on water. Only on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Hello and welcome to Ripley's. Have you ever wished that you had eyes in the back of your head? Well, Ripley's found a gentleman who solves that problem with a simple twist of his neck.
Working in a busy restaurant can make the staff wish they had eyes in the back of their heads. But not this waiter. Because, believe it or not, he can do this.
Ну, я не клоун, чтобы показывать свои способности, но это не главное.
Moscow resident Alexander Anohin was just a kid when he realized he could turn his head a bone-crunching 180 degrees.
Для простого человека это будет опасно для его дальнейшего существования.
Even doctors are amazed at the extreme neck rotations that Alexander can manage.
I've never seen anyone before who was able to turn his head a full 180 degrees.
Upon closer examination of his giraffe-like neck, it's obvious that while all 7 of the delicate bones are normal, Alexander's ligaments are unusually long.
What he's actually doing is dislocating one of the joints between the vertebrae in his neck. By dislocating this particular joint, he releases the limitation that joint provides, allowing him to rotate his neck beyond 90 degrees.
Doctors warn Alexander that one day, if he's not careful, he could do permanent damage. Still, Alexander's not ready to stop turning heads anytime soon. Because when Alexander hits the town, everyone stops and stares at the ultimate rubberneck.
Don't try that at home. Now, in the competitive world of amusement parks, there's a ferocious one-upmanship when it comes to roller coasters. Each park claiming to have the tallest, fastest, or most unique thrill ride of the season. Well, John Ivers gets Ripley's vote for building the most unique coaster in the world because it's right in his own backyard.
This Indiana family man loves going fast, enjoying the adrenaline rush that only roller coasters can provide. In fact, he's so obsessed with them that, believe it or not, he's built one right in his own backyard.
I call it the Blue Flash because it's blue and it zips around there in a flash.
After riding his first coaster at the age of 8, John Ivers was instantly hooked.
I think what hooked me on roller coasters was the thrill, the being scared.
But waiting in long lines was always a real drag.
I hate to go to an amusement park and stand in line for 2 hours for a 30-second ride.
So John came up with a solution. He built his own roller coaster, complete with a 360-degree loop. But would his contraption be able to safely propel passengers through the wild ride? Drawing on his background in auto mechanics and on a big pile of scrap metal, he got to work.
I know how to weld, and I've worked with metal a long time, and I just built it by the seat of my pants.
Though friends and neighbors thought he was crazy, John's wife, Sharon, stood by her man.
The more he did, it was obvious that it would happen because too many people said that he couldn't, and he was going to prove them all wrong.
Using an old car seat he found in the junkyard as the cab and incorporating a lot of trial and error, the coaster eventually began to take shape.
I built one 10-foot straight section in my shop, and I built the car on it and just kept it going from there. Next thing you know, it's done, ready to ride.
After a year and a half of hard work, and for about the same price as taking a family vacation to Disneyland, John's putting his homemade thrill ride to the test. While he's pretty sure everything will work out, the big question is, will he be able to generate enough speed to complete the 360-degree loop? With friends and family gathered to watch, John makes one final inspection and climbs aboard. A quick push, and the motorized pulleys take over. Everyone holds their breath as the cab climbs higher and higher. But will it be high enough to catapult John through the loop?
Okay, I'm sitting at the top of the lift hill. Here we go. Yee-haw!
John easily sails through the loop. Amazingly, it works perfectly. John's roller coaster is a huge success. Taking a second look at his thrill machine in action, John clocks in at a very respectable 25 miles per hour. Now, from his daughters to his grandkids, everyone weighing in under the 200-pound limit is invited to climb aboard for a wild ride on the 180-foot homemade coaster. Yeehaw! In fact, John's even made room to accommodate a couple of VIPs, if they're interested.
Hey, Dean and Kelly, come out and take a ride.
Take a look inside this refrigerator. Meet the nutritionist who believes mold and bacteria are part of a balanced diet. Decide for yourself when this human vulture invites his friends to feast on rotten meat. Plus, he can pray for hours standing on his head. But is this guru about to suffocate for his faith, attempting the ritual with his head completely buried in a hole? And men have drowned trying to make it from Alcatraz to the mainland. Now, join Kelly Packard as 3 Playboy playmates prepare to race across the dangerous San Francisco Bay.
My biggest fear is sharks and are not becoming shark bait.
Ripley's exclusive Playmate Water Challenge is coming up.
The bacteria that grows on spoiled food looks something like this. Not very appetizing, huh? Well, Ripley's dined with a man who believes that a healthy diet consists of eating rotten meat. Wait till you see what's inside this guy's refrigerator.
What would you do if you went to the fridge for a snack and saw this? If you're Agenus Vonderplanets, you grab a fork and dig right in. Believe it or not, he's been eating the foulest food he can find for the last 3 decades. In fact, the meat he eats every day is intentionally rotted for over a year. As a child, Ajanis was constantly getting sick, and he fought through years of frustrating illness.
By the time I was probably 6, 7 years old, I developed colds and flus that would last from 3 to 5 months.
Then, in the late 60s, Ajanis was diagnosed with deadly lymphoma cancer. He immediately began a series of radiation treatments to halt the deadly disease. But the cancer kept on spreading. Fearing the end was near, Ajanis set out to travel the world. While in Alaska, members of a local Inuit tribe took him in. According to their custom, they encouraged the dying man to eat a remedy of raw, rotten meat.
It stunk like dead animal, and I mean, it was horrendous. I couldn't get within 5 feet without wanting to vomit. I thought I was having a near-death experience, so I went and lied down at my campsite and woke the next day and I wasn't dead and I felt better.
Feeling like a new man, Ajanis decided to explore in depth the world of putrid meats and organs. He discovered there's actually a science to this diet of decomposition.
Well, bacteria, virus, and parasites feed on degenerative tissue. So it helps you get rid of the poisons that are in the body. It's like the vultures and crows. They feed on degenerative animals. They don't go around attacking healthy animals.
Now, preparing food is a simple process. He chops a variety of animal parts into cubes. These he places in jars with plenty of airspace. Then, Ajanis lets nature take its course.
You have to open it every 3 to 4 days to put more oxygen in it to keep the bacteria moving.
The meat's not ready until mold and bacteria have done their dirty work for at least a month. But a warning, eating any spoiled food can be extremely dangerous, even deadly. Don't try this at home. In fact, it's a putrefaction process so hazardous that food safety specialist Jeff Davidson simply cannot support it.
I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be concerned with things like an E. coli, a salmonella, even botulism. Maybe you're going to vomit. You may have some days of diarrhea.
All right, this is a buffalo heart chopped up.
Oh, whoa.
Some of Ajanis's favorite meats decay in their own juices for over a year.
This is cod livers. This is about 1 year and 3 months old.
Though doctors warn that consuming spoiled food could lead to illness or even death, Ajanis claims his afflictions have miraculously disappeared. A situation he attributes to consuming spoiled cuisine. As strange as it may sound, with each bite of rotten flesh, Ajanis says he only gets stronger. This rotten meat eater has even written a how-to book about his unique diet. And not only that, he's a certified nutritionist actually counseling patients to improve their health. But even with all the positive benefits he attributes to eating rotten flesh, Ajanis does have one important piece of advice.
You don't want to do it in your house because it'll stink your house up.
Believe it.
Ripley's circled the globe and found a man who buries his head in the sand while performing a headstand. And he doesn't do this for a few seconds or a few minutes. He does it from sun up till sundown.
Every religion has its own way of showing devotion to God. And for this Indian holy man, reaching heaven means getting down and dirty. Because, believe it or not, for this exhibition of faith, he'll attempt to survive for hours with his head literally buried in the sand.
बहुत तरह के योगा करते हैं सबसे खतरनाक योगा होता है जो जमीन के अंदर सर को
In India, Bam Bam Baba is a yogi whose daily meditative practices have enabled him to perform the dangerous technique known as the Samadhi Asana, or head burial. And while other holy men perform head burials by keeping their hands and feet on the ground for brief periods of time, in a demonstration that should never be tried at home, Baba will attempt the unheard of, a full headstand for an entire day. And the entire process will be documented by Ripley's for the first time on television.
वो सब भोलेनाथ सब पूरन करते रहते हैं, महादेव जी सब पूरन करते हैं.
In the very early morning hours, this guru prepares himself with prayers and meditation, hoping that the cooler sand at this hour will make it easier for him to breathe. Once his mind is clear, he begins the headstand. With all of his blood rushing to his head, this Sandman keeps his composure, controlling his breathing by inhaling slowly and deeply. 4 hours later, the sun is rising, but his head is still submerged. Using incredible body control to fight the lack of oxygen, the holy man continues. Unbelievably, with the hot desert sun beating down on him, Baba is still holding his ground. Sunset comes and goes, and after 10 hours without food or water, he is still straight as a pole. Finally, after an amazing 12 hours, this Indian holy man's head at last emerges from its hole. Exhausted and choking on sand, Baba's body reacts violently to the open air. Finally, he manages to catch his breath. Surviving his otherworldly 12-hour ordeal, this extraordinary man claims he never felt closer to God. And though satisfied for now, Baba never knows when heaven's call will compel him to go underground again.
अभी भोलेनाथ की मर्जी, जब उनकी मर्जी होगी तो करके दिखाएंगे.
Believe it.
Mike Brown was trying to make history with this risky jump. And he did, for all the wrong reasons.
Broke his hips, collapsed a lung, stretched his brainstem. It's just the most horrific set of injuries I've ever heard of.
It's the crash no human should have survived. Now, meet the man who beat the odds as he attempts to get back on a bike. And 3 of the most beautiful women in the world are ripped off the pages of Playboy to strip down for the ultimate endurance test. Can the Playboy Extreme Team conquer its greatest endeavor ever?
It wouldn't be extreme sports if there wasn't something extreme about it.
Kelly Packard is on deck to bring us the play-by-play in Ripley's exclusive Playmate Water Challenge.
The danger with trying to break a motorcycle jumping record is that there's a very real possibility that you're going to break a few bones before you bust any records. Well, that possibility never deterred Mike Brown, as these x-rays taken after his most recent attempt clearly show. Now, be advised, this story contains some very graphic images.
Flying Mike Brown is a world champion motocross racer and daredevil, one performer who's always gone the extra mile to please his fans. But a jump that was supposed to be the crowning moment of a 30-year career is about to end in a bone-crunching, gut-wrenching disaster.
It was bad, you know. They had to take his intestines out of his body, and they were outside of his body for a week.
Mike began racing motorcycles when he was only 8 years old. And it wasn't long before he was dominating his motocross competition. But Mike soon discovered that nothing could deliver the kind of extreme rush he lived for, like motorcycle jumping. By June of 1999, Mike was ready to attempt his biggest jump yet. At 200 feet, he was hoping to set a new world record. In fact, Mike was so obsessed, he even built his own takeoff ramp.
This is the first time I've ever hit this ramp right here.
But close friends like Roger Wells worried that Mike might be pushing himself too hard.
You just never want to go out there without being fully prepared with everything right. And if it's not right, You gotta walk away, walk away, walk away.
But walking away is the last thing on Mike's mind, even though there are warning signs that conditions for the jump aren't right.
The grass is so soft out there. I packed it with my truck. We're just checking it out right now because it's like riding in sand.
Mike needs to hit the ramp at 70 miles an hour to reach his landing zone. And despite the fact that the soggy grass might slow him down, Mike decides to gamble and go for it.
Higher the ball!
Oh my God. Everybody stay back, please. Everybody stay calm. Everybody bow your head and pray for him, please.
Looking at his jump in slow motion, it's easy to see how almost immediately everything went wrong. His mother can't believe what she's seeing.
From the minute he took off, it looked like he was going too slow. He just looked like he didn't have enough speed.
In midair and aware he's in trouble, Mike leans back and tries to bail, but it's too late. Slamming into the ground, his body wedges underneath the landing ramp, escaping decapitation by only inches.
It was just a horrible, horrible sight.
Mike is rushed to the hospital, but almost bleeds to death in the ambulance. Somehow, he manages to hang on.
They had revived him at least 4 or 5 times, just getting him to the hospital.
Emergency room surgeon John Livingston is shocked by the massive trauma.
Bruises on the lungs, fractured pelvis, fractured right femur, liver laceration, contusion of his pancreas, fracture of his left scapula, fractured spleen. We just had to treat his shock and stop the bleeding.
In fact, Mike's in such bad shape, doctors actually have to remove his intestines and lay them next to his body while they work.
They had to clean out inside of his torso, dirt that was packed into his torso.
Friends and family hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
He was torn and ripped everywhere.
Tragically, Mike falls into a coma, completely unaware that the impact has severed his left leg just below the hip.
They thought he was brain dead. They didn't expect him to ever be able to speak or walk or talk.
Then, after a month, and against all odds, Mike miraculously awakens. Even he can't believe what has happened.
It's easier for me to tell you what I didn't break than what I did.
Despite permanent nerve damage, an amputated leg, and being told that he might be bedridden for life, Mike is determined to get his life back. After 3 years of intense physical therapy, Mike is now able to get around on his own.
I think that Mike's enthusiasm for life in the end allowed him to live.
And today, with Ripley's cameras rolling, this miracle man is ready to reclaim his very identity, leaving behind his wheelchair to climb back into the driver's seat that he loves. For Mike, a man who's always lived to feel the breeze in his hair and savor the taste of victory, perhaps after a crash that should have killed him, this is his greatest victory.
You fall off a horse, you get right back up and ride again. And that's what I've always done.
Still ahead, you wouldn't know it by looking at it, but this unassuming storage shed is home to a frozen corpse. And you won't believe what one man wants to do with his dead grandpa.
Think about taking a person apart and putting them together again.
Plus, the world's only hand-standing hound reaches new heights in tonight's Unbelievable Animals. And this shrine houses the actual arm of a nobleman. Be there when the bone-chilling artifact is exhumed from the Ripley's vault. Next. Enter Robert Ripley's archives.
Robert Ripley, leave it or not. Leave it or not.
The year is 1966, and these overworked nuns find walking the long corridors of St. Elizabeth's Hospital exhausting. So they devise a simple but unusual solution: scooters. This innovative method of transportation gets the Sisters of Divine Providence around the ever-expanding hospital quickly. In addition to letting the sisters spend more time with their patients, the scooters are a pleasant surprise for some of the children in the nuns' care. Unfortunately, when management changes, hospital officials ask its heavenly healthcare providers to give up the habit.
Leave it on that.
When you hear about a dead body in a freezer, it usually involves the police and somebody going to jail. But in this particular case, the dead body on ice plans to live again.
The upper ridges of the Rocky Mountains. Here at a breathtaking altitude of 8,200 feet, it's as if you could reach out and touch heaven itself.
All right, bring that Xbox in, boys.
But inside this simple-looking shed, the promise of life ever after is right here on Earth. Because, believe it or not, underneath hundreds of pounds of ice lies the frozen body of a man who one day might be thawed out and brought back to life. The man responsible for putting Brado Munster on ice is his grandson, Trygve Boga, who ironically can be found more than 4,000 miles away.
Well, this is the way we cool off in Norway.
Brado Munster died at the age of 89, marking the end of a full, well-lived life. But for his grandson, it was the chance to explore the science that fascinated both he and his grandfather, cryonics. This controversial life extension process involves replacing the blood with an antifreeze substitute immediately upon death. Then the body is frozen to 196 degrees below zero.
He never knew that he would be frozen. That was my idea. And of course, it would have been nice to ask him about it, but he died before we expected him to die.
This flash freezing is done in hopes that future science will be able to repair fatal disease. And when that day comes, his grandson will give Grandpa Munster the de-icing of a lifetime. But that's just the first step. He plans to simultaneously clone Grandpa as well. With cloning, Trygve hopes to grow Grandpa a brand new, healthy heart to use in his next life. This loving grandson, who flew his grandfather to the U.S. to be frozen, was already completing a custom-built cryonic storage facility on land he bought in Colorado. But then, without warning, Trygve, a non-U.S. resident, was deported by the INS. Suddenly, Grandpa Munster's body was alone and stranded in the cold. The cryonics facility still unfinished, Grandpa's frozen body was left in an ordinary yard shed. Enter Bo Schaefer, the man who answered the help wanted ad the grandson placed in a local Colorado paper. For 8 years, it's been his job to keep Grandpa's body rock solid.
I got the job to take care of things because we're taking care of someone who may be dead, but may not be dead for long.
Now, loaded down with 2 tons of block and pellet dry ice, the caretaker and his staff make a regularly scheduled monthly climb up the steep mountain to the shed. Once inside, their first job is recovering any buildup of ice crystals. These cause a kind of freezer burn, which leads to tissue decay. Then, new ice is packed tightly around what Bo fondly calls the corpsicle. The cost for keeping Grandpa on ice runs between $600 and $700 a month. And amazingly, through it all, caretaker and grandson have never even met. All of their communication is done via email. Meanwhile, this devoted grandson stays busy, living this life to the fullest. As for the future, Trygve looks forward to spending quality time with his grandpa again, no matter when that day comes. Because he's already planned his own cryonically frozen funeral. So one day, he too will have the chance to live forever.
That's refreshing.
Still ahead, the incredible Beagle baffling everybody with his unique upside-down antics.
Any family get-togethers, they want to show home videos of Daisy walking on her front paws.
And Ripley's own Kelly Packard is afloat in the San Francisco Bay with 3 beautiful athletes for a sink or swim showdown when Ripley's returns. Ripley's world of unbelievable animals.
Give me 5. Some dogs will do anything to please. But there's a 2.5-year-old overachiever that's paws above the rest. Believe it or not, Daisy the Beagle can actually walk on her front paws. Daisy was still a puppy when the Leonard family brought her home. One day, daughter Nicole decided to play dress-up with the new pup. While putting baby booties on Daisy's back paws, the Beagle began balancing on her front feet. Then, amazingly, started to take some steps.
My dad and I just kind of looked at each other like, did she really do that? And then we just started laughing and laughing, and my mom came home from work, and my dad and I showed her the trick with Daisy walking on her hands, and it was so funny.
Go, Daisy, go! Do it again. She's going downstairs!
Daisy's new talent was such a hit that in her specially knitted socks, she was soon taking strolls around the block, even down the stairs.
Daisy can do the trick 2 or 3 times in a row pretty good. She gets her legs right up there, but I know her front paws do get tired, and then she stops. And if she doesn't want to do it, she won't do it.
Good girl, Daisy, come on!
But when she does, Daisy's one-of-a-kind walk never fails to impress anyone who sees it.
This has created a lot of attention for Daisy and us, particularly with the neighborhood kids. They all, of course, want to see Daisy do it. Any family get-togethers, they want to show home videos of Daisy walking on her front paws.
And this is one balancing Beagle that obviously enjoys the attention. Believe it.
Now it's time to go back out to Kelly Packard, where she's about to unleash Ripley's exclusive Playmate Water Challenge. Kelly?
Thanks, Dean. Let me introduce you to these 3 beautiful women. We've got Danelle, Deanna, and Jennifer. And these women are not only Playboy Playmates, but they're world-class athletes. And they have agreed to take tonight's Ripley's Water Challenge, a race from just off the shores of Alcatraz to a waiting ship. You guys ready to do this? All right, well, let's take a look at what exactly it is to be on the Playboy Extreme team. Formed in 1998, the Playboy Extreme team was put together to demonstrate that while attractive, these playmates are tough enough to meet any challenge. And for this training session on a beach in Malibu, California, they had their hands full.
I think that this is going to take a lot of physical endurance. To me, it almost looks like you run in that ball, so I've been putting a lot of miles on the road.
First designed for whitewater rafting, the Bronc balls require total body control just to get them moving. But after a hard day of training, the Playboy Extreme team is ready for the choppy waters of the San Francisco Bay. Do you realize that it's near freezing, the water? Oh, yeah. Aren't you a little nervous about that?
Well, one of my biggest concerns when we wanted to do this was not going into hypothermia. So we are outfitted with nice little dry suits, so we stay dry.
So just your hands and your face will be freezing. Now, you guys, there's colored balls. Which colored balls are you guys in? Which color are you in?
I'm blue. I'm red.
And I'm yellow. Okay, so I'll be cheering for each of you in your specific balls. All right, good luck, girls. You guys ready?
We're ready.
All right,
Let's go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yellow! While the girls of the Playboys Extreme Team make their way to their starting mark, I just want to take a minute and point out Alcatraz over my shoulder. It's one of the most infamous maximum security prisons in the world. This place has a lot of history. Check it out. Known as The Rock, this 12-acre island prison opened in 1934, housing the country's most notorious criminals. Isolated by treacherous currents and some frigid shark-infested waters, escape was impossible. Of the 36 prisoners who attempted, none were successful. Today, the Playmates will be dealing with the same hazardous conditions. Okay, it looks like the ladies are almost ready to go, so don't go anywhere because the most amazing race across the water begins in just minutes.
Along with a behind-the-scenes look at the pride of Playboy's Extreme Team.
The teamwork of the girls is what makes this team special, keeps us competitive, and keeps us strong.
Their ultimate challenge when Ripley's returns. Amazing stories and unbelievable people. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Now, let's go back out to Kelly Packard, floating somewhere in the San Francisco Bay. Kelly?
Okay, we're back to our grueling Ripley's challenge. Looks like the Playboy Extreme Team is ready to go. All right, are you guys ready? Okay, all right. Well, good luck. I'm going to count it down, and when you hear the horn, that means go. All right? Okay, on your mark, get set, go! There we go. There we go. Deanna, you having trouble with the current?
Yeah, they're flipping me all over the place. Every time I get turned the right direction, it drags me another way.
You're almost heading in the right direction. There you go. Now you're heading perfect. There you go. Deanna in the Yellow Ball appeared in Playboy in May of 1998. This playmate who aspires to sing and act is always amazed by the challenges the Extreme Team faces.
If you would have asked me 3 years ago if I would be doing anything like getting in a ball and crossing the bay, I would think that you were nuts. I would have basically said, oh, you're just crazy.
Let's check in on Danelle and Jennifer now. Looks like Danelle's got a new technique and it's working.
Copy.
Jennifer might be having a problem. Jennifer, are you okay? What's going on?
I'm taking a little rest.
Just a little rest?
It's actually a little hot.
A little hot? Oh, my goodness.
I'm a little nauseous because I keep watching the ball spin. I'm trying to stay focused and keep balance. It's the most important thing to keep the balance.
Have you swallowed a lot of salt water?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Jennifer is the newest member of the Extreme Team. Her favorite things include yoga and karate.
I was Miss August 2001, and I wanted to do more to promote the image of like a strong woman instead of just a beautiful woman.
And today's challenge is her toughest to date.
My first concern was the sharks and basically the tide, but I mean, we're just gonna give it a shot because we're the Extreme Team. That's what it's about. It wouldn't be extreme sports if there wasn't something extreme about it.
Now let's see how Danelle in the red ball is doing. Danelle, you struggling with those currents?
I am.
It's pushing you the wrong way, huh?
Can't get this darn thing to turn around.
Oh. Danelle enjoys running and snowboarding. She created the Extreme Team back in 1998.
I was a Playboy Playmate in April of 1995, and a couple years after my centerfold debut, I started the Playboy Extreme Team.
As the captain of the team, she feels responsible for all 30 of her teammates.
My biggest fear is sharks. So my focus is going to be making sure the girls are with me and are not becoming shark bait. So my focus is just going to be go, go, go.
It's a race between these two. They're head to head. Looks like Deanna just broke out in front a little bit. These girls probably feel like they haven't gone very far, but look at how far back Alcatraz is. Deanna, that looks great! All she has to do is cross the bow of that boat and she's won. You're almost there, Deanna.
You can do it.
Deanna, it looks like you're gonna do it. You're almost there. Oh, a little bit further. There you go. You're over. Yeah. Congratulations, Deanna. How do you feel? Exhausted. Exhausted. Are you cold? Cold and wet. Well, congratulations. You just swam all the way from Alcatraz. I should say walk on water. I don't know. Swim's more like it. Well, they certainly proved that Playmates are strong. That's for sure. Yes! And you saw it only on Ripley.
Some of the artifacts displayed here in the Ripley's vault are not for the squeamish, and this happens to be one of them. This is a shrine to honor French nobleman Claude de Lorraine, born 121 years ago. He was married to a famous opera singer in 1911, but during what turned out to be her last performance, she slipped off the front of the stage, broke her neck, and died. Claude watched in horror from the balcony and was so distraught, he punched a stained glass window, severing his arm. A short time thereafter, Claude disappeared with their son. All that is left behind is a photograph of himself and this, his actual decomposed arm. Unbelievable? Believe it.
Tomorrow.
There was a girl out here last night.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
So did you invite her in?
Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
I said run!
Jack Ketchum's Offspring. Tomorrow at 7. Only on Chiller. Scary good.